16 car. He was 5th quickest earlier today.
Hey, you know what's odd about that? 3 starts for Greg here at Watkins Glen. His best finish, 30th.
This place has not been very kind to him. I was looking to see if he still had the sandwich hooked on the front of the subway car. But, for some reason, he just struggles at this racetrack. It's not that he's a bad road racer, but he can't get the finish he needs.
And the problem is right now he can't get the finish anywhere he needs right now. He comes in here 12th in the points, 115 points out of 10th. Looked like he was going to have a decent finish last week and ended up in that last lap crash, finished 43rd. So got to be pretty solid these next 5 laps. And the problem, Biffie is dependent on his performance and depending on the performance of those guys just inside the top 10.
Marty Snyder.
Well, Steve, some changes with Bobby Labonte and his race team this week.
We have
a car into the wall. Is that correct, guys?
Yeah,
Marty.
Marty, sorry about that. He came through the S's of the 16 car. He has hit the wall really hard and knocked the rear end out of the line. And I doubt he'll be able to finish his complete this lap. He is dog walking big time down the back straightaway.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of damage to that race car.
Let's take another look at what happened. Greg Biffie limps it on in.
And guys, he was going for it. He had a green light. He was going really fast right through this part of the course, and it just did not stick. Did a little bobble, and he caught the inside of the Armco up through the S's, and that was it.
And you know, that's a place we don't see a lot of problems in qualifying. That is hung out right there, boys, but that is a hard lick. Hard lick. They could be going to a backup car.
This car's been a little bit loose since we got it off the truck, and you know, it made a qualifying run, was pretty fast, and I did some things, made another run, it made it looser, so I switched it back. And you know, with everybody saying the track was down a little on grip, I didn't sense that when I made my first you know, warm-up lap. In fact, I ran the chicane just to see how the car went through the chicane. So unfortunate, you know, just got loose when I turned back, and once these things break loose, especially up through the S's, you're such a high speed. You know, there's not a lot of runoff room, and it wasn't really any area for me to try and get a hold of it. I was driving it sideways, but she just got up in the guardrail. I feel bad, but you know, our other car is just as good. It's the car we finished 4th with at Sears Point, and it's a sister car to this, and got all the updated suspension like this, so I feel really good about the other car.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is on the racetrack.
And I think we need to make the fans understand, okay, why at the 2 road courses do teams put a different driver? You know, equipment's still important here because you've got aero, you've got handling, you've got brakes, you've got horsepower, you've got all these things, but the driver can definitely make a huge difference at a road course.
And Larry, you made the comparison. You said you wouldn't bring a specialty driver to Michigan next week, but you would here.
Yeah, because equipment certainly makes a much bigger difference at Michigan as it did at Indianapolis, but the driver can definitely make up a lot of ground or lose a lot of ground here, especially on a qualifying lap.
The 32 car outside the top 35 in owner points, so Ron Fellows will have to make it in on his time and speed.
Jeff, you talked about how fast going off into turn 1 right there, taking the green flag. Dale Earnhardt Jr., 155 miles per hour off into turn 1, making a dead hard right.
Yeah, that was just the internet corner. He broke way on down to almost just right at 100 miles an hour. So a lot of braking there. Again, he's looking really solid up through these S's. And coming to take the green, he was on it also. I mean, I think we touched on it. You don't want to use the goodie up too quick on your tires, but you want to bring a lot of speed to the start-finish line so you have it really rolling good there straight away.
And one of the secrets, I think, to a good qualifying run here, you talked about the S's, which is basically like turn 2, 3, and 4, is for the driver to be able to run wide open up through there and carry that speed on down that backstretch toward the inner loop.
Very important.
I'm going to tell you what, when I look back at last week with Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Eury Jr., the call that Tony Eury Jr. made where he took a car that almost would not even run in the top 20, stayed out with 14 laps to go, and ended up finishing 6th. In 5 races, we may well look back, as he uses all the racetrack up off the last corner, we may well look back and say that was the call that kept this car and had this car stay in the chase for the next Cup.